Hey everyone, I wanted to show you what I'm going to be up to for my 100-day project in 2026. So I have a small series. I think there were 5 of these total, these books that I got at an estate sale. It was last year or the year before. The reason I picked these up is they were in pretty good shape. They're an interesting size. Probably the other way around. A little over 7 inches by 9.5 inches tall. I like that they're kind of Art Deco. These were done in the 30s, I believe. Yeah, first published in 1930 and updated through the 50s. But they have some kind of nice thick paper, and almost every page has some kind of illustration on it. They're history books. They're a couple different series, and they were just kind of interesting to me. They were produced in the 30s through the 50s, so they're kind of, well, not kind of, they're really outdated, and they have a very white-centric bent to them. Well, they're talking about other civilizations and the conquest of the Americas and other religions and so on and so forth. So I didn't feel too bad about pulling them apart. So I'm using these books for different things. I'm using one for an ongoing project for a class that I'm working on. But what I'm going to be doing for the 100-day project this year is creating a series of temporary stamps made of impressions of everyday objects or everyday textures, and just kind of trying to do some kind of stamp or some kind of texture every day. And rather than doing it on individual cards like I have done in the past, I wanted to do something self-contained. These books, this one is a little thicker than the one I'm actually using for the project. This is going to be the one that I'm using for the project, and I've already started on it, but I wanted to show you kind of what it started out as. Obviously, this one's a little thicker. But in order to take all of the extra stuff that I'm going to add to this book, I needed to take out some pages so that there's room that as I add things and as I add paint, the book won't splay out like this. I know some people really like that look. It's not a look that I enjoy very much. So I want to try to keep it compact, not compact, but close to the original size. A little bit of splaying is okay, but I don't like it when they're so, it makes it even hard to work in. So I start out in these books, and I just go through and I tear out every other page. And I set them aside because I can use those pages for other things, or put them into packets to move on to other people. But I'll just go through and, when I need something really brainless to do, I'll just go through and pull out every other page. And then I end up with like this. And what I've started to do here is create some backgrounds. So over the past couple of weeks, knowing that this was what I was going to do for my project, I just started slapping some paint around. When I'm working on other projects, I always have a book sitting off over to the side where if I'm using a brayer, I'll kind of brayer off the excess in there, or if I have some paint on my palette, I'll use up the rest of the paint in there. This was a little more intentional. Actually, here's the current book I have sitting off to the side, and you can kind of see like how the paint just kind of randomly ends up in here. This is a little more deliberate, and I am limiting a bit to just a few colors, mostly in the blues and greens with some little pops of red and a bit of white too. But I've just been going through these pages and just sort of randomly laying some stuff down. A couple of these I used a little bit of this fine liner tool with some black paint in it. I have a little bit of metallic on a couple of the pages, but I'm just going through and creating some sort of backgrounds, trying to keep the book semi-cohesive. Still have a bunch to do, but we're kind of getting there. But I just wanted to show you where I was going with this, and when the 100-day project starts on February 22nd, I will show you what I'm doing with that.